Hi guys, I'm back and welcome to another Silhouette Saturday. Today I'm going to show you guys how to take this die cut and turn it into something that is not too thin to use, or something that can fit on smaller. I don't know about you guys, but I have a ton of die cuts and I love them and I love the script, and then I go to cut it, and even at its actual size, like the size that it was designed at, it does things like lose part of the wording, become too thin and can't cut it, or when I shrink it down to fit on a project that I'm doing, it just obliterates and turns into absolutely nothing. So I'm going to teach you guys something that I've found helpful, and that is the offset function. I know that you can also go in and release the compounds and edit your images that way, but I'm going to show you guys how to take this particular piece, okay, and I should have another piece of paper here showing you guys. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to take this particular piece and thicken it up so you have something like this. Or if you would like to shrink it down, you can shrink it down so you have a little sentiment, and also create, it's called an offset, but also a separate border. So let's head over to the computer and I'll show you guys how I start this process. We're going to come in and we're going to select our sentiment that we want to use that needs to be a little bit thicker. So we're going to go ahead and select it. And this is the original size. So what we need to do is we need to figure out what size we want to put this on. And for our example, we are going to put this on an ATC size project, and so definitely need to shrink this down. When you cut this at its original size, it is not, you know, that difficult to cut out, because you just put it on your mat. You would go to, let's make sure our cut settings are correct. We'll just quickly cut this out. We don't want it to be on white sticker paper. We're going to use just regular cardstock. So we want to make sure that our settings are all right. We're going to actually cut this a little bit faster because it's better to have everything faster. Okay. So let's go ahead and unload this. And I'm going to show you guys an issue even with it at this size. Careful. This line right here. It's too thin. And also the L stays pretty much intact. Okay, so the F is somewhat gone. The G, can't tell. Okay, so let me just grab a piece of cardstock that you can see this. Okay. So this is what we get even at full size. So you guys can see what an issue we're going to have trying to shrink this down to fit on an ATC. So let's go back to the computer and I'll show you guys how I do that. Okay guys, so I just showed you cutting this, and we have a problem area right here on this piece. What happens is this is still too thin. So now if we go to shrink this down to fit on, say, a ATC, like the plan is, or the pseudo plan, it's going to be way too thin. So let's see. Each of these boxes is 1 inch, and a ATC is like, what is it? I don't even remember the size of it. I actually do have an ATC bag right here, so you can get somewhat of the measurements off of it. So it's basically 3 by 4. So we could have this a little bit bigger if we wanted to. So let's just cut it at basically 3. Okay. Now I want to zoom in on this because I want you guys to see what I'm doing. Okay. All right. You can see how these lines are very delicate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it. So I just need to click the actual word. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click offset. So as soon as I click offset, it brings up this screen right here. And I want to click offset. I don't want to do an internal offset. I want to just do an offset. So I'm going to click the offset. Now we have to play with this a little bit because this is way too much. This is just going to give us an outside border. It's not going to help us fix these thicker or these too thin lines right here. So what I'm going to do right now, the offset, which is this piece that's going around the actual sentiment, is set to 0.125, and there isn't really a specific measurement that I use. I just kind of shrink it till it looks better. Now don't go and modify your image by using like dragging it like this, because it's not going to help. So all right, let's go ahead and back that up. And actually now I have to delete that because it set the offset to 0. So we're going to select our image, select offset, and now it goes back to 0.125. And we're just going to click the down arrow. And you guys can see as I'm just clicking and holding it, and the number is going down, and you can see that the offset is getting closer and closer and closer to the actual word. Okay. And now you can kind of see where it's got the opening right there. So we're going to keep going because I want this to be pretty thin. Okay. And that's a little too thin. That's about what it was before. Okay, so maybe not that thick. You gotta be careful as you're clicking. There we go. I think that's going to be a lot better, and it's going to be a lot smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut both of these and show you the difference. You can see how much thicker this line is than this line. So hang on one second. Let's go ahead and get to our cut options. Make sure all of our cut settings are correct, that we're on cardstock. So we're good to go there. We're going to go ahead and click start. I'm not going to do that just yet because I have to load my mat. Okay, and because this isn't a new mat, I am going to brayer this down. Something as tiny as it is, we want to make sure that, you know, everything gets done. So let's go ahead and load our cut mat and get started. Move this up, unload it, and I'm going to show you guys the finished products. So we want to, of course I cut out on the sticker, so this is going to be a little more tricky because, alright, I'm going to move this out of the way because it didn't cut through the adhesive part. So hopefully I can do this without too much incident and trouble. Okay, should have paid more attention to that. Okay, so this is the thickened, this is the original, and you can see it's just, let's see if I can get this to focus. You can see it's so thin, it really didn't cut out. And then, there's the other one. Let me grab my scissors. And I just want to cut it apart from the larger piece of paper because it's a little easier to take out. But you can see the other one that we thickened up the lines. We still need to be careful as it is a delicate cut, but it is fully intact. And of course doing this off camera would be a lot easier, taking this out, because I could hold it closer to my eyeballs so I could see it, but that's fine. Okay. And this little piece. Oh, I just almost ripped that in half. Okay, now to get that little piece out. That came out. And then I need to use my, there we go. Then I need to use my pokey tool to take out the A and the E. But this is, okay, so just a recap. This is the original cut, like the original size, didn't do anything to it. This is the smaller one that would fit on my ATC that I thicken the lines on. So that is my Silhouette Saturday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you guys one more step because I know sometimes we like the word and then we like a little outline around it. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that with the offset. Thanks. Okay guys, so now that we have that cut, I'm going to go ahead and just move this out of the way, the original like shrunk down cut out of the way. And I know some of us like to have an outline around our wording. And so we're going to create another offset and make an outline of it. So let's go ahead. We're going to do the same exact thing, except we're not going to do it so small. So we're going to select our shape again. Go ahead and do that. And that, again, for me is just a little bit too bubbly, a little bit too big. So I'm going to keep shrinking that down till I feel it's a good, I just feel like it's going to give me a little more stability. And do you guys see right here and here where I've got holes? I don't want that, so I'm going to go back until those disappear. There we go. All right, so that is perfect for me. I'm going to take that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this out of a coordinating cardstock, and I will be right back. Alright guys, so I'm going to use this as my coordinating color. So let's go ahead and brayer this down. Just make sure everything sticks down nice and good. It's not as intricate, load that cut mat. It's not as intricate of a cut, so I don't need to do that as much, but let's go ahead and get going. There we go. That's all done, so let's go ahead and unload. Move that up out of the way, and let's take out our piece. Now, I have my little pokey tool right here to take out that A piece. Sometimes they are so delicate that it is hard to get those pieces out. So you might have to use your tweezers. Tweezers and a pokey, but It's a little bit, that's better than not, right? Okay, that. This A is just giving me a little bit of fits. Try not to tear it. Okay. Okay, now let's go ahead and glue this down. I'm going to grab my, whoops, making so much noise. I'm going to grab my reverse tweezers so I can get the adhesive down on there. And a little bit. I just love these little sentiments. Put those down. And voila, we have a tiny little sentiment to go on. I mean, you could put this on a card, you could put this on an ATC, or really anything that you guys want. So there it is. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.